You suffer because you think there's a tomorrow. And it sure felt like you had a yesterday. But actually, those are just mere illusions. We've heard this, but it takes hearing this a lot. For most of us, it takes hearing it for a lifetime to remind ourselves to dispel what we see and to remember it's not real. This is an illusion. It's a Maya. It's a dream. And how do we know that? Think about last Wednesday, what you ate for breakfast. Where is it? It's just like the dreams you have at night. It's vapory. You can't touch it. You can't touch an hour from now. You can't touch an hour ago. It's this vapory thing. It's too hard to grasp, and even if you have pictures or videos of it, it doesn't actually hold or give validity to what it was in that moment. It can't even begin to describe the entirety of what was. We suffer because we want there to be a tomorrow, and we want there to be a yesterday. We want to feel like we can control this illusionary dream space. We want to feel like we can manifest, that we can use our mind and our power and our words and our subconscious to make something appear. We want to make ourselves feel like if we had these things, then we'll be okay. What we're really looking for is completeness. I love. What we ache for is just to be. And it's in being still we can know the ultimate truth. The ultimate truth is silent. It's what sits and watches. And you can only experience it in this moment, in this moment, in this moment, this moment. Bliss is only had by being with whatever is. As soon as our mind starts to wander off into yesterday or a moment ago or a moment from now or into tomorrow, there's a little bit of suffering that gets involved. Anxiety, depression, curiosity, tension, fantasy, hope, hopelessness. And there's nothing wrong with that. We do it all the time. We're used to it. But we're often looking to control life. We're hoping that if we plan ahead or if we overthink about what just happened, that we can somehow correct it. Sometimes we can. Oftentimes we can't. But again, what we're really looking for is completion, to feel safe, we want to make sure everything's okay. So we dwell upon what we said, overanalyzing, looking for any holes in the thing we just said to somebody, making sure we did okay. Or if we plan ahead, we're hoping that things are organized and put together. And again, there's nothing wrong with that. But just watch how far you get into it, because each can be a slippery slope and a black hole that can lead to a lot of suffering. There's nothing wrong with booking a trip. There's nothing wrong with, thinking about, did I do everything? Maybe I missed something. I need to go back. But come back to this moment, because you could be often so far in your head that you went from work and got all the way home and you don't even remember driving. You're just so inundated in that meeting you had at work. And the more you stay present and aware, the less you have to go back and think about what you said or defend yourself against what happened. Because you're coming from awareness. So you don't miss anything, because you're very present to what is. And when you book that trip or plan that birthday party or book that client, be present to it. Make sure to take the time to go through the steps. Be present to it. And then let it go and come back to now. Again, you won't miss anything. You're just there. You're doing what needs to be done. Everything we want, we're hoping that it will give us that sense of completion that only being in this moment does. We're hoping that, if we lose a few extra pounds, fall in love, reignite a relationship, go to that 5-star restaurant, complete that work project, finally make it to the Bahamas, see those friends. Underneath all of that, we're looking for it to feel good, to feel like bliss, to feel connected. And sometimes we're rudely awakened to it didn't even come close to meeting that expectation. All the work that we put into that wedding or that event, or we bought that car and the high wears off, we're so disappointed. And then we're looking for the next thing and the next thing, and on it goes, constantly looking to finally make it and feel some sort of completion. But we never will, not in the dream, not in this Maya, because everything inside of it is incomplete, because none of it is real. It all vanishes, it all dies, it all falls apart, it all breaks. So if we put our happiness and bliss into thinking that there's this thing that's real, and we know it's not real because look at time, it moves, it's so vapory, we can't get a hold of it. So if we put our completion into this, even other people, we will suffer. So the only thing that is real is our sense of awareness, coming into the present. A great deal of peace I found is just surrendering and reciting this mantra, all is well. All is well. There are no problems. There's the appearance of problems, but from the seed of awareness, from the God consciousness, there are no problems. It appears there's constant incompleteness. But from the seat of God, every broken piece is part of the next unfolding piece that might have completeness for a moment, and then it cycles through. It's like from a seed to a blooming plant, to the flowering, to the shedding and the composting. It's a beautiful cycle of incompleteness, each going through different senses, different parts of completeness, but then recycling and going through incompleteness. That's what it's like to be human. We die in these bodies and just come back or go on to the next universe or wherever it is, but it's just this constant cycle of incompleteness. And there are no problems from the view of God in that. We as limited humans, when we identify as a human, see a great deal of problem with that. We've made death to be this horrific thing that's you know, the untalkable now, and yet it's the most natural process, and it occurs with every last thing you see. Everything in your peripheral is going to die at some point, break, be combusted, compost, recycle, vanish. Nothing lasts except this. The only thing worth putting all attention on is eternal now, this eternal infinite awareness in space, this God, this divinity, that which you really are. And so as you want to plan and control and manifest or dwell upon the past, I encourage you to shift it to right now, just to come back. And if you need a mantra, all is well. So you might be saying, well, I need money. I need to fix something. I want that. I was really hoping to get that. I'm still feeling bad about this thing that happened. I encourage you to stop focusing on what you see as the problem. So putting your attention on all is well. Finding bliss in this moment. What is literally in this moment for you? Can you sit in silence with the plant? Can you just take some time to be quiet and stare at a painting in your house? Can you go for a walk outside? Can you just sit quietly in your bedroom? Turn off the TV? Turn this off? Just be still. Breathe. Deep breathe if you want. Just remember, you're not the body, so that doesn't even matter. If you do it to feel good, but you're not the body. What you're looking for is to silence the mind, to recognize you're not your thoughts. You're not those stories. So when you come into that place, you can know all is well. Whatever you're worried about for the seemingly future or still stuck on in the past, you can let it go right now and just come into this present moment. And just know that all is well. Life is going to do whatever it does. Life has a plan. The Supreme Source knows exactly what it's doing. And you can't manipulate that.
That was fucked up.
All is well.